Hey guys, it's Noelle. Grayson and I are starting a new podcast called AniMiss. We'll be covering some of that anime nostalgia we kinda missed. So I hope you'll have fun, but first we have to cover the most important thing, our origin story. Thanks!
I feel like I'm in an interview.
That's okay. So, tell me about your special skill sets.
Well, I can watch 4 to 5 episodes of anime in one sitting.
Oh.
And I'm really great at actually diving into the story head first.
Oh, it's interesting.
Thanks.
Okay. Alright. Go, I just blanked.
Go. Oh, I can explain?
Explain what?
Oh, I don't know. I thought that's what you said.
Oh! No! I said I blanked.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get into this. This is our first episode, and we're not actually going to be talking about the anime we have missed in our youth, but we will be talking about how we got into anime and how we met and how we first decided to do this. So, how did you get into anime?
So, I fell into it pretty early. I was like maybe 8, I think. Like when Pokemon was like the big thing. Because I didn't know it was anime at the time. So like, I don't really consider Pokemon my first anime. I think I was like 10 and Toonami was still like a new thing. And they had this show called Trigun. And like, at first I was like, well, this is new and it's also very serious, but it's also funny until like the end bits where it's like super serious. I was like, what is this medium? And so then it just was all downhill from there.
I love that it's downhill. Downhill from there.
Listen, I know. I'm just deep in the trash.
Like, I feel that. I definitely feel that. I feel like my origin story into the anime was it was very, very different from yours, because like most kids I definitely got into Pokemon and I got into Digimon as soon as it came out, but I didn't fall in love with the genre at that point. I really fell out of it for like so long, and it wasn't until university when I met a few new friends that were like, you would really like this story, you would really like this character, and I just like dived in head first, and my life has never been the same.
I think college definitely was like, because I feel like I was waning out of anime in college, but then I just met these people and we were like, oh, have you seen this? I'm like, no, but have you seen this? And so we just started watching so much new stuff together.
Other weebs are just like enablers.
Exactly. Like in high school, I was so like secretive about it. Like I thought it was like this secret thing that I shouldn't tell anybody else about myself.
Yeah, like I definitely like didn't have that because comic books were just starting to be like so huge, and I was so into comic books at the time. And so it wasn't as weird of a thing for me to be into in high school, just because those movies did start coming out around then. Like I think the first Iron Man like came out when I was in high school, which is like insane actually, now that I think about it.
And now it's the We Feel Old podcast.
Yeah. but like I definitely feel like it's weird that Marvel movies have been around for that long, but I feel like they were just starting, so like it was definitely something I didn't really talk about in high school. But yeah, I didn't watch anime at all in high school. Like I can't say that. Like I think I dived into some of the classics. Like I watched like Akira in high school and like stuff like that, but it was never like something, like I was never heavy into it.
Yeah. See, then in high school I was watching stuff like trash like Gravitation and oh god, just anything I could get my hands on. And the availability when we were growing up was like really limited, because you either bought like a DVD for like $30 and it was like 5 episodes of a thing, or you went on YouTube and you waited like 2 hours for your dial-up internet to give you part 1 of like Naruto or something.
or you like try to download it on like Kazaa or something.
Oh my god.
Oh man, we're aging ourselves a little bit.
We are. Those were the dark days.
The dark days.
Wait, what was your first anime?
Well, like I said, like I watched Pokemon and I watched Digimon, but like, I feel like a lot of people don't really attribute those to being like your firsts. Because everyone watched them. Like, even if you weren't into anime, like, you definitely,
right.
like, those were your firsts.
And because they were so similar to, like, like, Western cartoons, where they're kind of serial in storytelling, but they're pretty much one-off episodes where you can jump in anytime you want.
Yeah, like, they weren't what I was, like, where I would say that my first anime experience happened. But I don't know, like, I think I have to say that the first anime that got me into anime is definitely One Piece. Because Yuga really wanted me to get into anime, and she gave me an option. She was like, we're gonna watch an episode of Bleach, and we're gonna watch an episode of Naruto, and you're gonna pick which one you want to watch. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Like, let's just get into it. Because she was so into anime, and, like, she was really falling out of it, but I think, like, this resurgence of us kind of getting back into it was all thanks to each other. And so we watched an episode of Naruto, and we watched an episode of Bleach, and I actually liked Bleach better.
That's surprising.
Like, I liked Bleach, and it's because I felt like Naruto's first episode felt like a filler episode. And I was like...
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and so I was like, I don't really want to get into this. And so she's like, okay, like, what do you want to watch? And I was like, Bleach. And she's like, Naruto it is then. And, like, we watched Naruto, but it wasn't until, like, I dived completely into One Piece that I think I started to fall in love with anime.
And I think, like, if I had started... of the three, because I went with Naruto, but I think if I was, like, not falling out of, but, like, being introduced, I think One Piece is a little easier because, like, it kind of has the cartoony bits like Western cartoons do, so you have a little more to relate to. Yeah,
like, it was definitely, a lot of people complain about One Piece being very westernized in its animation style, and, like, it's definitely, for me, though, it was, like, character. Like, Zoro is definitely a character type that I love, so they were like, you need to watch this because you would love this person. I ended up really liking Naruto in the end, but, like...
It takes a while.
It took a while. It definitely did. So, like, what would you attribute your first anime?
Oh, God. I was only 10, so... I was just like, ooh, colors, or whatever. And, but I think it grabbed me because... it took itself a little more seriously at times, which I wasn't used to with, like, you know, Western cartoons. And then it built on concepts of, like, well, is this morally right? Or what is humanity? And stuff like that. And even at 10, I found that pretty interesting, which is a lot to say for a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So, but then I suddenly, like, slowly grew more attached to that because anime definitely delves more into that kind of thing.
This is Trigun, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which at the beginning is very much not indicative of what it is at the end.
Yeah. It's one of those, there's a lot of classics that I haven't watched, so...
Right.
Like, that's partly why we're starting this.
Yeah.
But... I totally forgot to mention that. I think Madoka Magica was actually my first, like, full series that I watched.
Oh my god.
And, like, I don't know why I continued, because that's just devastating.
Yeah, it is. Because I watched Madoka when it had almost all come out. There was, like, 1 or 2 episodes that hadn't released yet, and I was moving out of my dorm room for, like, my last year of college, and I was just, like, sitting alone and watching this, like,
sad,
tragic story.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I want my friends, but they're all gone, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
So then, like, us finding our love of anime is kind of led to how we met.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of odd, though, because it's, like, not through anime specifically. I feel
No.
like anime led me to dive further into cosplay, which made me more aware of other cosplayers that maybe didn't cosplay from anime, right? Because like a lot of it was like, I was like, wow, this Black Widow looks amazing, but it was never like, I never really looked at the anime cosplays. And then when I kind of started getting into it, it's kind of how I found Jillian, because Jillian's such an amazing Rin cosplayer that so right away she was like someone that I thought was amazing at cosplay, and someone that like I think I could really look up to, and I started going in her streams, and that's where I met you.
Right.
And so we just, I don't know, we just kind of hit it off like automatically in terms of our, I think, comedic style. I feel like
basically insulting each other.
Yeah,
I
feel very much like we had fun with each other, and we really understood that our humor was a little offbeat.
Right.
And so you were great enough to actually introduce me to more anime that like a lot of my friends had not. I know I said fortunate enough. And we did this kind of anime trade-off. Which you introduced me to Wolf's Rain, which thanks.
Yes, I did. You're welcome. It's pretty good.
The tears. But yeah, so we just kind of had this anime trade-off, which I thought was really cool, because I love finding new stories, and it's hard to explore such a giant market.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not a genre, it's a medium, so of course you're not going to watch everything.
Exactly.
But, like, getting new perspective on something maybe you had dismissed or not seen before, because that was what Haikyuu was with me. Like, I tried watching it twice before, but then you gave it to me. I was like, alright, I'll try one more time. And now it's like
part of your life.
It is. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it caused me tears, but not quite the same tears that you
No,
got
it was not nearly as bad. They're like happy tears. There was no happy tears in Wolf's Rain. That doesn't happen.
No. Everybody dies. Spoilers. Everybody dies.
Wow. It's definitely one of those ones that I probably wouldn't have found on my own. And I probably would have. No. I also probably would have watched the first episode and been like, this isn't really my jam, and then stopped watching. But I felt that I needed to continue, and I'm really happy I did, despite the pain.
Right. And I felt that same way with Haikyuu. I'm like, all right, I've tried this. This is now the third time, and I was on the third episode. I'm like, well, I mean, I still don't get it, but, this is kind of my homework, so I'll keep pushing. And then by episode 5, I was like, oh no, I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah, I definitely think those first couple of episodes, too, are pretty, not slow, but in terms of how well the story has progressed and how good Furudate is at storytelling, just isn't clear in those first couple of episodes.
Right. And then Wolf's Rain, I can understand why somebody wouldn't be immediately into it from the get-go, because it's very slow-paced the first 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, and it's also really heavy. It's always heavy. There's never a lighthearted moment.
No. Because if there is a lighthearted moment, it's immediately
followed by
pulled away by sad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I never told you, but at Otakon, we were sitting in the Funimation panel, and they ran a trailer for Wolf's Rain, and I had to stop tears. I was like,
oh man,
my boys.
It's guttural.
Oh gosh, and I almost wish they would make another show like that, but I know they won't.
Yeah, probably, especially not right now either, because I feel like there's a lot of what's coming out of anime is very lighthearted right now. And that's not to say that it's not good storytelling at all, because I wouldn't say that, but there's very much a lightheartedness. There's a hopefulness that I think people need right now. And
especially right now.
And I think that Wolf's Rain would be something that just wouldn't resonate as well right now.
No, of course not. So that leads to, like, how this podcast will normally function. We're not just gonna reminisce all the time.
No, we're definitely going to not reminisce all the time, because we're going to be...
exact opposite.
Yeah, we're going to be experiencing something new. We're gonna actually be watching all through the original Sailor Moon. That's what we're doing, right?
Yes, or at least we're going to try.
We're going to try to get through the original Sailor Moon, because neither of us, upon discussion, have watched the series at all.
Nope.
And I feel like it's such a huge series to watch, so we, this is kind of the reason why we decided to go with Sailor Moon, is that I think it has such an intense fan base, and it's so important to so many people. And
especially to people our age.
Yeah, yeah, especially, like, around our age that seem to just, like, be completely encapsulated by Sailor Moon. It definitely, I think, as someone who is an avid anime watcher, to claim to be an anime fan and not have seen the series is, like, I feel like I'm lying a little bit.
It feels a little like sacrilege.
Yeah, like, it feels like one of those major, Sailor Moon is a major contributor to how Western culture definitely got into anime, I think.
Yeah, and it just, like, it changed so many people's
lives,
views on so many things. Like, it's crazy.
And, like, I think, too, is that it just, like, I want to experience it that way. Like, I want to also know why people love it so much.
Right. And, I mean, probably won't get the exact same
experience, for sure.
But we'll probably, like, we'll have a little window.
We will.
To see.
I want to know why you didn't initially watch it. Considering you as a young Nozel were someone who was into anime.
Right. So, like, I think the honest answer is that, like, I didn't know it existed when I was that age. I couldn't even tell you what channel it would have been on, but I think I was just so obsessed with, like, Pokemon and Cardcaptor Sakura at the time, like, I didn't need anything else.
We had a channel here in Canada. We had a channel called YTV, and it was youth television programs. And that's where Pokemon and Digimon and Sailor Moon played. And for some reason, I just never got into Sailor Moon. And I think it's partly because my little niece was really into Sailor Moon. And so I just assumed it was more childish.
That stuff's for babies.
Yeah. But it wasn't at all. Obviously. I think for me, despite really wanting to, like, love and embrace these stories about women, I tend to really like shonens.
Yeah, I'm very similar in that way. Like, I like female characters, but it's very rare that I ever relate to one.
Same, especially when it comes to anime, I feel. I say this, and I know that a lot of my friends are always just, like, joke and are like, no, like, you are Usagi, like, that's you. And I'm like, okay.
I don't know what you mean, but okay.
Yeah. And so... And like, I have done a Sailor Moon cosplay, which is, like, ridiculous, I know. And I have been Usagi, but it's really because my friends are really into it, and they wanted to do these versions, and I'm completely cool with doing groups, even if I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. But for me, it was just always like, oh, that's I know this sounds bad, but I was like, oh, that's for girls. And, like,
but, like, I know what you mean. I understand.
So because I definitely, like, I didn't think that I really liked the magical girl genre,
right?
Which I liked Madoka, but it wasn't something that I think was the same as Sailor Moon. So.
No, Madoka is definitely, like, its own thing.
Yeah. So I just thought that it was very, like, feminine, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. Like, very, because they transform, and they have these cool transform sequences. And I know I'll probably love them, but I was very much like, I need rubber kids punching things. So it's why I had never gotten into Sailor Moon when I started watching anime.
Right. And, like, the thing is, like, I probably would have been into Sailor Moon, considering how much I adore Cardcaptor Sakura.
Mm.
So, I mean, because, yeah, that stuff was on a different channel, like, here in America, than that stuff. Like, it's the same reason why I never watched Dragon Ball Z or Outlaw Star or any of those. And, like, I just didn't know they existed.
Mm. So what we're going to do with the podcast, so you guys know how we're going to proceed, is we are going to watch about 4 or 5 episodes and then talk about them. And you're kind of going to get a reaction of how we're feeling about the show. I really, like, I'm curious if we're going with subs, right?
Yes, because, well, I don't know. Because, like, I've heard the Japanese voice actors for Sailor Moon, and it grates on my nerves. I mean, one of us could do sub, and one of us could do dub, and then compare that.
I feel like both of us want to do dub. I just want to do...
Okay.
I want to do dub eventually. I could do... We're doing original, right? Like, we're doing...
Yeah.
We're doing classic. So, like, Robbie doesn't come in until, like, for a while.
The truth comes out. You just want the dub for Robbie.
I do want the dub for Robbie. So, like, eventually maybe I'll switch over. But I could do the Japanese version. Because I know that, like, I'm not unaware that her name is different in the in the dub version.
Well, I think with the newer dub, because I'm assuming we're going to go with the newer dub, they went back to the original names.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But we'll work it out. We'll figure out what's more, what we can watch, what we can legally watch.
That's also true. We have to figure out where we can legally watch this.
Yes. But we will do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the truth of the matter.
So I guess this is where we leave off, or?
Yeah, we totally sign off on this and make it official. This is what we're going to be doing for you guys.
Whether you enjoy it or not, it's fine.
It's fine.
We're having a good time.
We are totally having a good time. Because we're gonna get into some really, I think, cool stories. And eventually, if we're probably gonna branch out a little.
Yeah. Different stories.
Different stories. Maybe shonens we've missed.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to our podcast. This is AniMiss. We are gonna become magical girls soon. Can't wait for our transformation.
Can't wait for the suffering.
Ooh, yeah.